Hey everyone, welcome to our 10th episode of Flavor Talk. I'm Ann Neal, aka Ms. Freak from Smoke Freaks Barbecue and the Barbecue Pro Shop Factory team. Tonight we are down a freak. Mr. Freak got called into a last minute work thing, but no worries, I am doubling up on the freakage. We're going to have a good time tonight. He might be making an appearance a little bit later. We'll have to see. Mr. Freak and I are the tongues and testers behind the flavor guide at Barbecue Pro Shop, the definitive seasonings decoder and buying guide for barbecue rubs. Joining us as our flavor partner, going all the way back to 2019, Jeff Belmonte, owner of Barbecue Pro Shop. Say hi, Jeff.
Hi, everybody.
And tonight it is our incredible, immense pleasure to introduce our guest, Chris Lytle of Boars Night Out and Steak Cookoff Association World Champion. Hey, Chris, what's up?
How are you, Miss Freak? You doing all right?
I am freaking great. How are you doing?
Good.
Is the question. You riding that wave?
Still living that dream.
Living that dream. Well, you know, it is
Jeff,
not.
You doing all right?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Good.
Yeah, it's not every day that we get to welcome a world champion to our show. So really, thank you for being.
We appreciate it.
I know you've been making the rounds out there on all the live shows and the circuits, and we're so honored that you're spending some time with us tonight. So first off, again, huge congratulations on winning the Steak Cookoff Association World Championship down in Fort Worth just a week and a couple days ago. And as you know, not sure if everybody joining the call knows, history was made at Worlds this year. There was a perfect tie for first place. Never happened before in the history of Worlds. And Chris Lytle and Stacey Croft were both crowned world champions. Congratulations to you both. So for everyone out there listening tonight, we got a great conversation with Chris planned. Please post your questions, your comments as we go. We're going to get into a lot of winning because that's what Chris is all about and the Boars Night Out team is all about. So first, I'd like to just start with a little bit of background for those that don't know you. Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do for fun, for work, and how you got into this crazy barbecue life.
Well, as everybody said, my name's Chris Lytle. I'm from Vernon, Alabama. I cook with Boars Night Out Barbecue. For fun, for work, I cook. I own a restaurant. I own a pizza and barbecue restaurant in Vernon, Alabama. I'm also a licensed realtor. And then for fun, I cook barbecue and steak contests. So, and before I opened my restaurant, I worked construction, and I used my vacation days to go cook contests. So that's what we do. I started out in barbecue, but like most of us did. My dad and his best friend always cooked at a local barbecue contest that back in the day was sanctioned by Memphis in May, when Memphis in May was a sanctioning body. And as I got older and I graduated, went to work, when I come back, I started cooking on my own out there, and it was KCBS then. 2017, I started running the circuit a little harder, and I'd already met Mark Lambert, and we went up to Millington, I think it was. I can't remember what contest it was, but we was cooking KCBS, and Mark and Scott Guy and several was at his warehouse getting ready to cook a Toka MBN, and they had a steak contest. So they showed my wife how to cook steak because my wife always made the boxes for me, and she wanted to start cooking. They showed her steak, and from there on out, we've been cooking SCA. And I met Alan and Eric in 2008, first of 2018, got hooked up with Boars Night Out. We became best friends, started cooking together, and that's where we got to now.
Barbecue family is really a real thing. Smoke Freaks has been cooking since about 2015 or so. More recently, starting with KCBS, some MBN, and most recently with SCA. And I remember my folks, they didn't really understand this whole barbecue family thing that I always was talking about until they joined us at a comp one year. Mr. Freak happened to win first place ribs. The place went insane, and all of our friends were there, and they understood it from that point forward. So talk about your barbecue family and Team Boars Night Out. I know you got a real family there.
There's definitely a barbecue family. we, like I said, I cooked with Boars Night Out, and just to relive the moment of last Sunday night to prove the barbecue family, not just Boars Night Out, but White Lightning team with Craig Carter, Matt Overson. Can't say enough about Mr. Tim and Miss Sandy Brown. They're awesome. Jeff Jacobson. I can't name it. Rod, Rusty, Doc. I name them all, and I'm gonna miss 20 of them, I know. But it's a family that like no other. We when they called my number, everybody's told me that it took 20 minutes for me to get to the stage. Well, I think 19 of those minutes was because the whole White Lightning team was mobbing me and hugging me, and I'm still sore today because of it. I mean, it's just great people, and just Mark Huntley's another one. I can't forget Mark. Everybody knows Mark.
White Lightning, baby.
White Lightning, baby. So I can't not, I could mention all of them, but the White Lightning team is a bond that it's hard to find anybody else like that.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
don't know if you will.
For sure. You mentioned Tim and Sandy Brown of Stress Relief Barbecue, and they are dear to my heart. We met Tim and Sandy on the barbecue trail when they were doing barbecue. They eventually made their way to steak, and thought they were pretty smart for doing that. And it's worked well for them. It's worked, right? They took us under their wings, and have been great friends and great mentors and great champions of the sport, who really pay it forward. And you don't meet people like that. And I know the whole Boars Night Out family is like that.
They are, all of them. Alan and Eric, they couldn't have put together a better team. They're amazing. And Alan and Eric, if you hadn't met them, they're the best friends a guy could have.
Fantastic.
No doubt. And it's more than a friendship. We're family.
Yeah, the real deal, for sure. So let's talk about Worlds, right? How many appearances have you made at Worlds?
I have been to Worlds every year, except I didn't make it 2 years ago. I was invited, but my dad was in Houston having a heart surgery. So I didn't get to make it, but I've been there every year since 2019.
And how have you done in the past?
Mid-pack.
Yep.
I hadn't, I've never made finals. I've just kind of finished mid-pack. We can go into that story now if you want, or we can go into it in a little while.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Sunday night for the World Championship was my very first win in the SCA. I've been cooking the SCA since 2018. I finished second a bunch. Me and Trish got married in February of 2019. We planned our wedding and our honeymoon around the steak cook in the Bahamas that Brad Barrett put on.
Wow.
And that was our honeymoon. I finished second there. She finished sixth. I've got a lot of second place steak finishes, and but Sunday night was my very first win ever.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yes, that was my very first steak win. I've always joked, and me and Eric and Alan and Trish and all of us have always talked about, I'm just waiting till the big stage. I'm just gonna win mine at the World Championship and be done with it.
You called it, brother.
Very good.
I sure didn't mean to.
Wow. Well, you give a lot of hope for, a lot of people that have perhaps not made it to Worlds or have not made finals, that, amazing things can happen. Keep the faith. I've been
Absolutely.
there. Mr. Freak and I have been there 3 years, and darn, Mr. Freak has made finals twice. I have not yet made finals, and
you'll make them.
I'm banking on what you just said. So thank you for sharing that. And that's awesome, man. Wow.
I never dreamed it would be my number called that night when they was talking about a tie. I'd actually looked at Trish I got to about number 14, and I looked at her and I said, well, I ain't feeling it.
Wow. So
you get those emotions where you think you did good, you didn't do good, you think you did good, you didn't, you don't know. So
so let's go back to kind of making your way to Worlds. what, I mean, everybody wants to, win and all that, but what were your goals headed down to Fort Worth or over to Fort Worth,
Really,
before it all
really
started?
really my goals. Well, see, I didn't get to cook a lot last year. My wife Trish, she cooked a lot more than I did, and she was chasing that golden ticket and chasing that golden ticket, and she's won a few. And she got stuck on 11th place for a while last year, and she was getting so frustrated. And then she broke into the top 10. And every time she would get either a fifth, fourth, third place call, whatever, somebody right above her would have her their golden ticket. So she never was able to get it. And El Dorado, Hope Landing, one of the best contests that we've been to. I think it's a great contest. We went there, and that's the second week of December. I think one of the last contests we can go to, and we both went. And Tim Brown won, and I finished second and got my golden ticket. If I wouldn't have got it there, I wouldn't even been able to go to the Worlds. Trish had enough points to where we kind of knew she was going to get the at-large because she was in the top 10 of the at-large, and we kind of felt like she was going to get that large. So if she didn't get a ticket, it wasn't a big deal. But I really didn't know that if I was even going to make it to Worlds. But I won my golden ticket at El Dorado, and I'd already had my golden ticket for ancillary. I enjoy cooking ancillaries. I don't chase it or anything like that. But if there's ancillaries at a competition, I like to cook them. So my goal going in, really, what I really wanted to do was just final in ancillaries and steak. Well, that didn't happen, and there's always a reason things don't happen. And so I didn't final ancillary, and then we got to Friday on our steaks, and it was pouring down rain, and a monsoon coming, and
we had that crazy rain. Were you fortunate to be on pavement or at least grass and not in the mud?
We were fortunate enough to be on pavement. We take the trailer, the big trailer where 30 of us can cook out of it. And we were fortunate enough to be on the road. But the thing about being on the pavement was that's the way the water drained.
Yeah.
So we had 3 foot of water draining through under our feet the whole time. So it was fun.
Yeah, that's crazy. Jeff has some photos of some of the conditions that we can maybe put up on the screen here in just a second. You're that's a good perspective about being on the pavement. That's where things go. I'll tell you,
I know the mud wasn't any fun either, and I'm not taking it away from anybody because everybody that was cooking out there had to cook in some conditions.
It really was brutal, challenging conditions. We were on the edge of the grass, kind of grass/mud. And Jeff, I don't know if you have those photos of our cooks.
I'm sorry, I don't have those ones.
That's okay.
Wasn't sure. Yeah.
We were just stuck in that mud, and I tell you, the wind was crazy. The lightning and the thunder, was very foreshadowing, right? And
that's right.
Those are crazy cooking conditions, and I really felt for everyone that was cooking in their ancillaries. Cooking for ribs. We were cooking ribs, and it was just miserable out there. Not to mention, the craziness come Saturday. But I saw a lot of people, helping each other. A lot of people loaning each other, mats and rugs and things like that. Just lending a helping hand, making gutters out of their pop-up, canopies and things like that. Yep. And that speaks to that barbecue family. So, you talked about some of the goals that you had. You show up come Saturday, the qualifying round. What's your mindset at that point? How you feeling? What are you thinking? What's going through your head?
I'm feeling okay. Just know we got to cook a good steak. You got 400 and something.
Yeah.
You got 400 something competitors, and every one of them's earned the right to be there. So you got to cook. You got to cook a good steak. And again, the White Lightning team, the support that all of us, that each other has for each other throughout the year. Matt Overson, I see you got him on there now. Alan, Eric, Craig, Tim, Sandy. I'm gonna name them all again. Mark Huntley, Jeff Jacobson. We talk all through the year, and when we're at contests together, you see just little things in each other's process and they all seem to gravitate, and make sure everybody's doing right, or doing not per se right, but
Yeah.
making sure everybody's on the top of their game.
That's right. That's right.
And Tim and Sandy, they made sure all year long that when me and Trish cooked with them, that they watched our process, and they wouldn't say nothing throughout the cook, but after the cook, after awards, hey Chris or hey Trish, did you see what we did here? Would you see what we did there? And when Tim and Sandy give you advice and give you classes, per se, you better listen.
You better take them and you better listen, right?
You better listen. They're super good people, and if it wasn't for them, Alan, Eric, I'll say it a million times, and I can't say it enough. If it wasn't for the whole White Lightning team, there's no way I'd have walked that stage that day.
Yeah, fantastic. Right. I tell you, when Tim Brown tells you that you picked a good steak, you're on to something. I hope he always means it whenever he's told me that. But more than anything, it's that boost of confidence that gives you, and that sense of.
I was going to say, you must have talked to Mr. Tim before this podcast, because he told me the morning of finals, after he saw my steak, he said, "It's yours to screw up, Chris." Yeah. I asked him, but he answered the question. It was mine to screw up. He told me I had a really good steak.
Yeah.
And after I got done cooking it, he was standing right there, and he looked at it in the box. And when I closed the box, he looked at me and said, "You still got a really good steak."
Nice. Hey, Chris, what group were you in on Saturday for qualifying?
The red group. Was that the last group?
I think it was.
The red group.
You were in the red group.
The very last group.
Oh, that just must have been so hard to sit there that whole time. Tell me what number you drew for steak selection. What was your chip?
For semifinals or finals?
For semis. Yep.
I don't remember. I want to think it was towards the back. I want to say 36 or 38 or something like that.
Posses? Wow.
Always. I don't draw high numbers. I don't know if I've ever been in the front of the line. Maybe once in the whole time I've cooked SCA. Yeah. I don't have that luck. But I like the back. I'd rather be in the back.
Yeah. I know some folks get kind of bummed out when they draw a chip that is not, a single digit or something. And I always try to remind myself and everyone, never give up on the chip, never give up on the steak. Who knows?
Well, if I'm in the back and I see two steaks I like, I know I got a good chance of getting them. Yeah. When I'm in the front, I see 20 steaks I like, and I know I'm not getting another one.
Yeah. So what'd you see back there? Yeah, what'd you see come Saturday for qualifying in terms of the steaks? And what kind of steak are you cooking? Are you trying?
I'm cooking a try. I'm a try guy. If I got and actually the struggle I've had, and a lot of the struggle I've had, I hadn't been real consistent. One, because a lot of times I like to go out and talk and rub my mouth, and I don't pay attention as much as I should sometimes. But the other reason is I don't get to cook as much. I don't get to get out as much as I'd like. I'm trying to change that to where I get out more. But so I get inconsistent, and I go with different things. And I had conversations with Eric and with Alan and Jeff and Mr. Tim, Miss Sandy, and all them. And I'm like, I got to go back to the basics. And I had almost thought about going to a smaller try or going back to a spinalis steak to cook it and just reset. Because sometimes I feel like you got to reset, you get way too far out there. And, but I'm a try guy. And Saturday I got two good smaller tries. I didn't go for the big tries. I really, really like the big tries. Mm-hmm. But I told myself, get two steaks. That way, two steaks close to the same. That way I know I can hit my number if I need to, because I can practice one and then cook the other one.
Yeah, that's
that's what I went for. And I had a good steak. I felt like turning it in. I had a good steak. I didn't know if I was top 10 or not. And I finished 6th in that group. Matt Overson won that group.
Yep.
I had Matt O won it. Bill Mann was in there. I can't remember who. Scott Norton was Scott in red. I can't remember. I think so.
That was a phenomenal group you all were in.
It was a good group.
Yeah. Matt was the last number called, right? Yeah.
Matto was the last number called. We had talked about it going up, and he said, I missed my mark, Chris. I said, you got it, Matt. And then they called my number, and then Matt was first. And I think there's a video on Facebook when
I seen that.
They called his number. I got a little excited.
Ooh, we got a question. What did you learn from your practice steak? Thanks, Alan. Good question.
Yeah, really good.
I learned the doneness, Alan.
You nailed your doneness?
I learned the doneness on it. Make sure the number was right.
Okay. So you make it, you qualify, you're a finalist. You got that medal around your neck that everyone wants to get. You've had this amazing moment. Sunday's the big day. You're cooking finals. Talk to me about where was your head going into that cook? What were you thinking about when you checked in, when you attended that cooks meeting?
So I got finals, and that's the first year that's the first time I've ever finaled out there. It's the first time I ever walked the stage in Fort Worth at all. And we go out to eat. We get done eating, I'm going to the hotel and I'm going to bed. I'm getting rest. That's what I'm doing. And I get to the hotel. I can't sleep. My mind's a million different places. I'm excited. I finally made finals. And no matter what, I'm in the top, 94 in the world. I can't sleep. I probably got a total of 2 hours of sleep that night.
Wow.
I told Trish that, Cook's meeting, I think, was at 9. Cook's church was at 8. I said, let's get out there about 7. I'll get my stuff set up, pick up Alan and Eric from their Airbnb, and then we'll get back, go to Cook's church, and then I'll go to my Cook's meeting. Well, when I woke her up at 6 o'clock that morning, I already had my shower, dressed, just pacing the floor, and done been downstairs, got her a cup of coffee. I'm not old enough for coffee, so I couldn't get me no coffee. But got her a cup of coffee, woke her up. She got ready, and I think we were out there by 6:30. And going in Cook's meeting, I was excited. I guess you could say nervous more. I think it was more anxious than nervous. I drew my chip. I wasn't super happy about my chip, but I don't let my chip get me down. My chip, the number's going to be the number you get. There's going to be a steak on the table. You just got to look over that table and make sure you pick up the steak you want.
Yeah, nothing you can do about that chip after you draw it. It's your chip.
Nothing you can do about the number. You just got to roll with it.
Yep. Cook your cook.
And I drew 81 is what I drew.
So they divided, odds and evens and all that. So 81 ended up being what in terms of your draw for your
They
steak?
divided it into 3 tables.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really in the middle of the pack for picking up finals. I think I counted because I was looking at the table and I was 7 back once we rotated. Once I went through the first pick, and on my second pick, I was the 7th one to pick in line. So closer to the back, but almost in the middle,
Yeah.
And the only reason I know that is because I looked up there and I counted, and the way they did final stakes, I liked the way they did them, and you could see where the tries were. And I counted 8 tries. And I was the 7th one, so I knew I had a chance to get a second try.
Yeah. That was super cool. What happened there for finals, that everybody had their choice. Everybody was going to try if they wanted. Everybody would have a good Spinellis if they wanted. Super, super
That's
cool.
exactly right. That was cool the way they split them up.
Yeah. So you talked about, consistency. Now, Saturday going into Sunday, did you do anything different on Sunday from your Saturday cook? How'd it go?
Absolutely not. I didn't even change socks.
You didn't even change socks?
I'm just kidding. But
it's okay.
You just said you showered, so we know that.
Yeah.
That's right. No, I didn't change anything. I did the same thing Sunday as I did Saturday. I tried to replicate it. I had a lower score on Saturday and still finished 6th in my group, but everybody was low in our group. So, I didn't want to change nothing. If I top 10 one day, I want to stay the same.
Right.
I want to stay the same throughout the whole year. Really, I mean, you don't want to change much of anything.
Yeah. So did your steak, when you were cooking it, did it have lightning bolts coming out of it, or was it just another steak you were cooking?
It had lightning bolts from the time I picked it up all the way until I turned it in.
Yeah, you felt that?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Some of them say I walked around with a little cocky step all day, but I didn't realize I did. But I was super excited about my steak. Like I said, Tim Brown told me when I got back to the trailer that I picked a great steak, and when I turned it in, Tim Brown told me I still had a great steak. So I knew I did my job.
You sure did.
Great.
So winning flavors on that practice steak that you carried over into your Sunday steak for finals. Talk to us about flavors. You know, this is flavor talk. So
it is flavor talk.
Lightning bolts, and we talked about thunder.
And I've been waiting on that question all night long. They're right behind my head. We start out every steak we cook with Ace's Wild, Wicked Pig, marinating it in that, and then White Lightning and Southern Thunder. We released Southern Thunder a week before, and we got to Worlds, and we was fortunate enough to win the World Championship with it, and it was all over that steak. We've been running it for a little while, and it's phenomenal.
It is a great product. Jeff, you got some photos here of some Southern Thunder.
I absolutely do.
Put up on the screen. Talking
I was
about
going to say, if you
flavors.
can't see it, look behind my left shoulder, and it's right there too.
Yeah.
You know, the first thing. Go ahead,
There's
Chris.
an SCA championship ring right in front of it.
I love it. I love it. You know, the first thing that strikes me about that Southern Thunder is you know, obviously the flavors and the taste, but look at that color. It's a beautiful rub, and it lays down some beautiful color.
It puts a beautiful color on a steak.
Yeah.
And also
Absolutely.
I noticed too, it's super fine. It's like a really, really fine texture. How did that play into it? How do you apply that stuff? That's something that's interesting to me.
It's almost a like a powder, and we've learned that more and more as we play with it. And I'll tell you, when I learned it more when I started putting it on my briskets here at the restaurant. Sometimes I get aggravated because it's so fine, it's kind of hard to get out of that bottle sometimes when you're trying to get a lot out of it. With a steak, it's not that big a deal, but when you're using a bigger piece of meat, you got to crack that top a little bit, and then it works perfect, you know. But that's what made me notice it was fine. But I apply it straight out of the bottle. Fluffy. That's a good word for it, Sandy. It's fluffy.
You got it there, yeah. I agree.
It's fluffy.
I apply it straight out of the bottle.
Too,
But like I said, you know, on a smaller piece of meat, it doesn't bother me coming out of the bottle. You know, it works really well. Just on the bigger pieces of meat, I crack that top open a little bit, and it rolls real good.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And you know, it plays other flavors and other rubs, you know, as well.
It does. It works really well with White Lightning. I know that's another Boars Night Out product, and people can believe me or not, but you put White Lightning and Southern Thunder on a steak, and it gives it a color and gives it a taste like no other.
I believe for sure. In fact, we were fortunate to get an advance, sample of the Southern Thunder for our flavor guide testing. You can see our flavor guide here up on the screen. So Mr. Freak and I have tasted and cooked with over 400 seasonings that we've done flavor guides for. That's a lot of flavor. And I tell you, as we look back at our factory team review on the barbecueproshop.com website, one of the things we talked about was the smoky vibe, the salty and savory flavors, a nice smack of warmth kind of smacking you right in the middle of the tongue. And Mr. Freak called it tastes wild and unique. Doesn't remind me of any other rub. And he's really right. And we've tasted a lot of rubs. So it's a pretty remarkable statement to say that it's unique and distinctive. And
we appreciate it.
Those flavors are really fantastic. And, you know, paired with that White Lightning. And I can't say or hear the words White Lightning without thinking of Mark Huntley. White Lightning, baby. So we gotta always say that.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they pair really, really well together. So it's a great product.
Yeah. Sandy Brown makes beef taste beefy.
That's right.
Nice.
That's
And
exactly
it's one of
right.
the few that's it's so perfectly balanced with no sweet. So it's just, it's not about the sugar. It's all about everything else.
And Scott Nardi, I don't think there's anything that goes bad with White Lightning.
Thank you, Scott. We appreciate it.
Prevailing thought, that's for sure.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, those Boars Night Out flavors are really something, special. We haven't talked about Midwest Dust. It's one of the flavors that I roll with my steak towards the end of my cook. And Jeff Jacobson, and team have y'all put a great product together with that.
Put together a fantastic product. I finish with it. I use it towards the finish of my steak also.
Yeah,
a lot of people do. It's another great taste on a steak.
For sure. So I happened to see something else behind you there. We've got, the amazing tenderizers. We got the Boars Night Out seasonings, the incredible ring, and I see you're grabbing a Smoke Freak's Lucky Lighter. So, funny story about this. I had the pleasure to meet you and your wife and Alan and Eric on Friday at the Stress Relief barbecue trailer.
Saturday morning, wasn't it? No, it was Friday morning.
I think it was
Friday morning.
Yeah, I think it was Friday because we wanted to make sure everybody had it in time for the qualifying round on Saturday. Speaking of your wife, Tricia,
Friday morning.
Congratulations to Tricia on a commanding second place finish in her Cowtown Classic group on Sunday. Another amazing accomplishment. That Friday, when I met you all, that was the release of our latest Lucky Lighter, our 8th edition. And I happened to just have a pocket full of lighters when I rolled by Tim and Sandy's trailer. And for those of you that are already members of the Lucky Lighter League, you know that there is a very serious initiation ritual, and it can be quite passionate at times. So I'm just curious, Chris, what was going through your head when I'm walking you through the power of the Lucky Lighter and how it's up to you to activate that luck and welcome you into the Lucky Lighter League? What's going through your head? This Ms. Freak here is freaking out about this lighter. What are you thinking? And be honest.
I couldn't wait to get back to the grill to light my grill with it. I love things like that, for people to come give you things, for luck or for just to give you something. And I couldn't wait to get back to my grill to light my grill, and I lit my grill Friday with it for ancillary. I lit my grill Saturday with it, and I lit my grill Sunday with it. And actually, I'm going to have to hit you up for another one, because that one I'm going to go ahead and retire, and I plan on building a shadow box with my finalist medal, my tickets, my coins, everything that goes in that shadow box.
You got
it. I'm gonna have to hit you. I'm gonna have to hit you up with another one just so I can light my grills with it. Or I might need to keep that one and just put another one in the shadow box. That way, I keep the same one that's been lighting the grill.
No, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your lighters, but if I were you, that might be what I do. But we got you, Chris. We have as many Lucky Lighters as you need.
Well, I appreciate it.
Truly. I always tell people that the more you believe, the better the luck. And, there's a lot of feelings out there about luck. At the end of the day, it's up to you to cook that steak or cook, whatever that is, and, run through your program and get the results that you're seeking. But I like to always think that a little luck, never hurts. Who can't use, a little bit of luck, right? So
that's exactly right.
Some people don't like the whole idea of luck, that it's just good cooking. Luck has nothing to do with it. I think that luck plays into this whole crazy barbecue competition, steak competition thing that we do. I believe, and you are a world champion now using your Lucky Lighter. And I'm not telling you the Lucky Lighter got you the world championship. That was 100% on you. But like I said, a little bit of luck never hurt. But last year's world champion, I know, Ken Perkins, also lit his fire with a lucky lighter. Tim and Sandy Brown are founding members with us of the Lucky Lighter League, U.S. points champions, multi-years. I don't know about Scott Nardi. I know he uses the lucky lighter. I don't know if he used it the day that he won his world championship, but I don't know. There's something going on here. Either we give out a lot of lighters or we know a lot of badass cooks.
I think it's a little bit of both, probably.
Probably a little bit of both.
You know, like you said earlier, I think a little bit of it was foreshadowing that somebody from the White Lightning team was going to have to win after those storms we had that whole week. That thunder and lightning striking and clapping, you know, it was destined for a White Lightning member to win it. I was fortunate enough to be the one to be the last number called, or second to last. I got to say, and I don't know, I think I mentioned it earlier. I know you mentioned it. We got to congratulate Miss Stacey Croft on a great cook too. I like that picture. That's a great picture.
Yeah. This is Trisha.
That's obviously Trisha.
Yep.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's my wife. She finished second in the Cowtown, and really and truly to me, I mean, you know, I told her that's just as big as me winning the world championship. Placing second in the Cowtown, that's huge.
It's huge. It's huge. Look at the smiles on Alan and Eric's face. I mean, just so happy for you.
They always are. Whether it's me, whether it's Trish, whether it's anybody on the White Lightning team, them guys support, and they, you know, even if they don't get a call, if somebody else gets a call, they're just as happy for that person as if it was themselves. I can't say enough about those two guys right there. Like I said, they're my best friends. They're more than best friends, and I can't say enough about those two.
Yeah. Jeff has a great connection with the Boars Night Out team at Memphis in May 20.
Yes.
You want to share some of that, Jeff?
Yeah, I did. I absolutely got a chance to just kind of get a behind the scenes look at their Memphis in May and watch Eric present whole hog, which was out of control cool. And watch how
Which one, Jeff?
What's that?
Which year?
Oh, it was in 2019. Yep.
That's when is 2019. Did we final that year?
I don't know. I don't know that you did. No, because I remember us bringing all the stuff over to other people's tents and that type of thing. But it just was. I had just never seen a presentation like that before. Like just
Eric Hodson's the best in the business.
And just, you know, and hanging out with them all weekend. And all of a sudden, like this guy shows up and starts presenting at the table. I was like, oh my God, you know, and that to me, and I had gotten a chance to see Melissa Cookston do it one time down in Murfreesboro. And I was also, and she did ribs. And so I'd never seen anyone do the hog. And that was just, and the way that everybody just, I don't know, the production of it was just something special to behold. And then I had my Boars Night Out shirt that I was just so proud of, and just the ability to hang out with them and that type of thing. So I'm sort of interested in how with you talk about Sandy and how does the whole team thing work as it relates to SCA? I get it when it comes to barbecue, you guys all cook together, but when it comes to SCA and you're all individual, how does the team thing work that way?
Well, we all compete against each other in the SCA, but we're still all a team. I mean, it's Eric, Allen, myself, Matt O, Craig Carter. No matter whoever's at the cook, we all set up together. If we're not right beside each other, it's just one after another. And, you know, whatever somebody needs, somebody else is jumping to get it. We're stepping over each other to help somebody else. And it's like I said, we compete against each other, but it doesn't matter if whoever gets a call, we're going to cheer louder for them than if you cheer for yourself. Sandy's saying it best. It's SCA family. It's a White Lightning family for us. We, you know, like I said, we all just set up together. We compete against each other, but at the same time, if one of us win or one of us get a call, we're just as excited as if somebody else does.
And, you know, it's this SCA family is, you know, not just, you know, within, you know, the Boars Night Out circle or within other, you know, team groupings and things like that. On Sunday, Mr. Freak was, he made finals. He was going through his cook, and Buddy comes by and he was cooking Cowtown, and he asked us, "Hey, you got any wicked pig?" And it was kind of like not a good time, but yeah, just here's the wicked pig, take it, but
That's right.
That's what we all do for each other. We all help each other out. And, you said it best. We are competing against each other, but I like to think we're competing with each other.
And there's no other sport. There's no other deal to where when somebody gets a call, the whole place goes crazy. You clap for everybody that gets a call, even if it's not you, you're excited for whoever's done it. And like I said earlier in the podcast, several people's mentioned how long it took me to get down to the stage. Once the white lightning people and all of us got done hugging and celebrating, walking towards the stage. I mean, I could. Mark Lambert, Ashley Henson, they stopped me. Riley was right there with us. Get on down a little bit. Gene Skilling was right there. David Mayer, everybody that I cook around throughout the year, and even people I don't cook around, stopping me, giving me a hug, excited because, I just won world champion.
Mm-hmm.
You still run.
And they don't think about themselves, but they're celebrating with me.
Yeah, I think there's nothing better, no other better award ceremony than a SCA ceremony. And I've been to a lot of ceremonies. And before I got into SCA, there was, the SCA Friday night thing before a KCBS. We'd kind of go to awards just to see our buddies, what was going to happen. And like, wow, these guys are having a lot of fun. We should get into this SCA thing. They're all having a great amount of fun and, excitement and camaraderie, on these Friday night cooks and things. And, the same exists in the barbecue world, but there was just something a little bit different and a little bit even more special. And I just love SCA, and it's everything that you talked about. And, yeah, here's another great comment.
Yep. It is. It's a really, the whole family piece of it is just really special in general. It's unlike anything else too. And the dedication and the time and the energy and the effort and the money that everybody puts into it is just, and the fact that you got such great people all around you too,
That's right. That's
really
right.
Special.
So Chris, what's next for you?
Next is Hogs for a Cause next weekend in New Orleans. Boars Night Out. We're teamed up with the Shed and 3 Taxi Guys and Aces Wild. We're going down there to raise money for pediatric brain cancer. So that's next weekend. Then I'm looking for a couple state contests to go to. I think we're going to go to Horn Lake in just south of Memphis the next weekend. We've got Springfest coming up. We've got a lot of barbecue coming up. We got Springfest, which is a NBN KCBS duel that we always cook, getting ready for Memphis in May. And then we got Memphis in May. And that was on our goals from the beginning of the year. That's one that's near and dear to my heart and really near and dear to Alan and Eric's heart. And it's one that we really want to take home the big trophy for it. So we hope that's in the plan also.
Whole hog at Memphis in May, right?
Whole hog at Memphis in May. Yes, I'm the night man. I'm the night man on Boars Night Out. I have been since 2018. So I'm the guy that sits there overnight and just makes sure the fire don't go out. That's about all I do. Yeah. It's just because I don't sleep much. That's all. Because everybody else wants to take a nap. So I'm the one that sits there and just makes sure the fire don't go out.
Yeah, that's a really critical role. Mr. Freak and I do Memphis in May with Team Steamboat, also a whole hog team. Okay. And John Bobinet, head cook and owner of Steamboat Barbecue in Wheaton, Illinois. Him and Mr. Freak are the night guys. My job is to kind of get everything, in place and make sure that the team that's present while they're taking a nap, to be able to do the overnight cook, so that when they roll in for that overnight, things are in place, things are as they should be. We're hitting the right temperatures. And my job is also building that blind box. So we will see you at Memphis in May. We are H318. Where are you guys at? I think they're separating some of the hog team.
They're separating them, but I haven't looked at the map. I I want to say we're 302 or 304, but Eric or Alan will probably chime in and tell you exactly. I don't really remember. I just wait till we get there. 302. I was right. I just wait till we get there and I let them tell me what to do. I'm that
guy.
Yeah. Well, wishing you guys all the best next weekend, your state competitions between now and then. And especially at Memphis in May, I look forward to seeing y'all down there. Sandy has a link for some donations for Hogs for the Cause.
Oh, great. Okay.
We'll get that out.
If you don't know what Hogs for a Cause is, it's a barbecue contest down in New Orleans, and basically what we do is we raise money for pediatric brain cancer for the kids. And I think part of the grant, from what I understand, part of the grand champion is to see how much money you can raise to go to the kids. So they posted that link. If you feel led to donate some money to go to the kids, then just click on that link. We do have raffles. We're raffling off a pistol and a rifle, I believe. So you can buy raffle tickets there. Hit up Alan Smith or Eric Hodson on Facebook, or Boars Night Out Barbecue, Championship Barbecue. You can get up with them, and they have tickets for that.
Excellent cause, and folks, definitely let's contribute to that.
Fantastic cause and a great cook.
Yeah. Anyone have any other final thoughts for Chris here? Or Chris, any final parting thoughts that you'd like to leave us all with?
I appreciate all the support, the phone calls, the text. We talked about it all show, the family that you have in the SCA and in the barbecue family. I never dreamed the calls, the texts, the messages on Facebook, the post. It's been overwhelming. It took me after I won it, Eric, Jeff, Alan, all of them, they looked at me and said, it'll sink in a few days. I think it took about a week before it really sank in. And just going back and thinking about the conversation with Bill Mann, the conversation with Mark Lambert, the phone calls that I got from people. It's been overwhelming, and it's humbling. And you can't say thank you enough, and thank you's not enough, but it's been y'all asking me to be on the show, the other people that's reached out. It's been an amazing experience, and I look forward to being the world champ.
Yes, for sure. Well, thank you, Chris, and keep riding that wave. Savor this moment. Savor this amazing moment. We're all so thrilled for you and Stacey. Congratulations again, and we'll see you down the road on that barbecue trail.
Thank y'all for having me.
Right. Thank you, Chris. Really appreciate it. Thanks for being here, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Jeff.
Thank you.